Welcome. In this video, we are going to walk through the process of how to add administrative data to our record. Now, you've been following along in the previous training videos. You know that we initially started this project by uploading a record with a file. In this case, it was an image, a postcard with a reverse side. We also added our descriptive data and we did some geolocation mapping. So now we're going to go in and do some administrative data. Now, to do this, we're going to go into the top 100 records. And we're going to look for the record that we're working on, in this case St. George's Square. And this brings us to our data management screen. Now, just to refresh what we've done thus far, this is the original image of the postcard that we uploaded along with the reverse side, and we did those in our file text screen. And then we went on and we added our descriptive data in our description screen. We added some geography, some geomapping, which we have done down here. And now we're going to go in and add some administrative information. So we're going to click on admin. And the first thing you'll notice is that we still don't have this on the public site. I still have it suppressed. Again, I think I mentioned this in our initial video. This is personal preference. I personally like to work with it in suppressed mode simply because I want to make sure everything's formatting the way I'm happy with. And also, by this time, you've added hopefully as many records or files as you need for the record. You've done your descriptive data, you've got your geography, your geomapping in, and now you're to the point where the bulk of your information is added. And if you're happy with it, go ahead and make it public. Now, just a word of note, how soon this will become visible on the public side will be dictated on where you are on the indexing cycle. So you may want to refresh your browser when you finished working just to see if it's there. Okay. Language of description. Now, unlike the descriptive data screen where you have the option of adding as many languages as is necessary that are intrinsically part of your record, this is only one language that you can indicate on what you're using to describe the item. In this case, we're using English, but say for illustration purposes, you were using Italian. You just add it in, click on it, and there it is. But we don't want Italian, we want English, so I'm going to click back on English. So the local identifier, that's the unique number that your institution has assigned to this record. It could be a call number, whatever you're using to identify this record uniquely. Again, it can be used by researchers in the advanced search screen. If they have access to the unique number for this item, then they just have to enter that and it'll take them directly to this item. Now, recommended citation. Well, if you ever get stuck on something and you're not sure what the field means or what it wants you to put in there, if you click on help, there's some guides there that will tell you what the definition of the field is. In this case, pretty straightforward. A statement on how to cite the digital resource. And it will also tell you whether the field is publicly displayed. In this case, it is. So it's completely up to you whether you want to use this field. Now, collection, again, you want to add as many access points information to your users and researchers as you can. So I'm going to indicate that this is part of the Green Family postcard collection. And this field is visible on the public side. Again, if you want to double check, you can see yes, it is publicly displayed. Okay, now these next few fields are a mixture of private and publicly displayed fields. For donor information, say somebody from the Green family was quite happy to have their name and maybe some contact information publicly displayed. They want people to get in touch with them, perhaps other family members. This is the field you would use. So you would add in here information that the donor is comfortable having displayed on the public side. Alternatively, if the donor does not want their information out there, or perhaps they're not able to be contacted, but you want to aggregate this information for your own collection management purposes, then you would use this field, and it would be for your eyes only. Again, if you want to double check, it's not publicly displayed, so you're assured of privacy. Custodial history, again, provenance of the item, chain of possession. Again, let's check and see it's not publicly displayed, so again, it'll be for your eyes only. Now, location of original, private, public, pretty straightforward. The public one is particularly useful if you have microfiche in your collection. Of course, you know vital stats, birth, marriage, and death. The microfiches, the original is located at the Archives of Ontario. There are many items, artworks, documents that may be the original is located at Library and Archives Canada, or perhaps you have a copy of something from a partner institution. You could indicate all this, including contact information, in this field here. Now, reproduction notes, again, if you're not sure what that field should contain, click on your help, and it'll tell you that this field is useful for reproductions, numbers or location or copy of negatives, that type of thing, where reproductions can be located, so on and so forth. Now, moving on to permissions. Now, most of the content that's posted to the Our Ontario portal is out of copyright, and therefore you can flag it for public domain. If you're not sure, you can click on undecided, and that will let people basically know that the user, it's up to them to determine whether this is a copyrighted or in public domain. There are a lot of items in your collection you may not know, so this is just a good way to indicate that it's up to the user to determine the status of the item. You can also indicate terms of use. I found this useful when I was filling out the catalog, the items for the Ontario Genealogical Society. Our entire library collection was not circulating, so I found it very helpful to include this up here and just let patrons know that while they were welcome to view and look at and write down information, that unfortunately they could not check the items in our collection out. But you can use this for any type of information you want. Again, if you're not sure, check the help guide. It will provide you with a bit of guidance. Okay, copyright status. If you do have something that is in copyright, you can indicate the status here. Alternatively, you can indicate copyright date, the holder, and the contact information. But do keep in mind, check these fields to make sure they're publicly or privately displayed. So if you're going to indicate the copyright date, you note that yes, it's going to be publicly displayed. The holder, yes, that's going to be publicly displayed. However, if you click on help for the copyright holder contact information, that is not publicly displayed. So that is for your eyes only and your use, that you can provide it in any way you deem to be the appropriate manner. If someone contacts you for the information, you actually have it at your fingertips. It's just not publicly viewable. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward. We have included as much information as we have or we deem necessary for this record. So remember, before I leave, I'm going to update, because if you leave the screen and you don't update, you're going to lose your information. You're going to have to do it again. So now that I have this viewable on the public side, let's go in and see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what we've done so far. We've got our image, we have a reverse side, there is our geomapping, here's our descriptive data, including our subjects, personal names, our Creative Commons. Now, we didn't indicate anything because this is just a demonstration, but let's go back in and see what it's going to look like. If I go back and I want to say I'm not sure whether this is in Creative Commons or not, so I'm going to click that off, and again I'm going to update my data, and I'm going to view it, and let's see what it looks like. So basically, this is letting researchers, users know that the copyright status is unknown, and it's their responsibility to determine the copyright status, and any use rests exclusively with the user. So it's great to have if you're unsure, but always check with your institution. I'm sure some will have policies on how to indicate that, but it's there for you to use. Okay, so as always, don't forget that we have our Vita Toolkit help site. If you need any more assistance with copyright, Creative Commons issues, if you click on more resources on the left-hand side, We have about copyright and Creative Commons and links here to help further guide you in your decision making. And don't forget, also all of our manuals are listed here. You can download them in their entirety, or we have them broken out into sections. So right now we're working on adding and managing records. There's the complete manual, and there are our different sections. So that was the process on how to add administrative data to your record. Next up in the video series, we'll be working with groups. Hope you found this useful. See you next time. Bye for now.